Hi, I'm Tanya from Y'all Light, and I'm a registered dietitian. And I like to talk about how to feed the body, soul, and spirit. Since we live in a body, we have a soul, and we are a spirit. That's from the Bible. So anyway, this month, August 2020, I'd like to talk about the importance of being able to increase our energy and our stamina so we can have endurance to run the race that's set before us. Now, in order to overcome fear and establish new coping mechanisms, we're going to need some energy and we're going to need some stamina for the long run. So for the body, one of the ways we can increase our energy is using the breath of life. Our breath is a really good source of oxygen, and oxygen creates energy. So especially long, deep, slow breathing. So breathing in, filling as much as your body as you can, and breathing out. And breathing very calmly. Now when you do long, deep, slow breathing versus short, shallow, fast breathing, and short, shallow, fast breathing that's anxiety or fear. So you don't want to do that. That one releases stress hormones. So this one releases nice chemicals into your body that create a relaxation response in your body. So use the breath of life. Just notice this month how you can use the breath of life to bring you more energy and to create calm. And then a good idea too for movement for the month, the suggestion is if you can't get outside, hopefully you can get outside, and walking is just the most amazing exercise. But if you can't, a rebounder has been scientifically proven to help increase the strength of our immune system. So the rebounder, I have one and I love it, and you just jump up and down, and even it's a little mini trampoline. Even if you just go up and down on your toes, that has been proven to really help your immune system, and it gets your circulatory system working, which circulates all that oxygen. So for the upper body, I just recommend like some little weights and light weights and more repetitions, and that's what will build your muscle. And the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism will be during the day. So the more you're going to be burning your food and releasing oxygen. Now, the diet I would recommend for this month to focus in on are greens, more greens. What greens do in our body is greens help to oxygenate our blood. So there's little substances in green food that help to bring the oxygen into the cell so it can be used. Chlorophyll is one of those little substances. So you can supplement your diet with chlorophyll, or eat the greens, or add chlorophyll powder to something. I actually make every week, at the beginning of the week, I just started this about a month ago, a little green juice. This just has celery and cucumber in it. It's not that tasty, but it's so good, and I can tell when I'm feeling kind of low, when I have a glass, I feel a ton better afterwards. So hold your nose and down it goes. So there's also lots of green powders that you can add to a smoothie, moringa, spirulina, amazing greens. So those are totally worth the investment. To get your caffeine in the morning, you could do matcha green tea or just green tea. And those are really high in antioxidants and help your body to repair versus to break down. So increase your greens. So that's how to feed, that's my recommendations for feeding the body this month. To feed the soul, Now, our soul includes our mind, our emotions, and our free will. So our soul's going to be pretty active right now because there's change and there's threat, and our soul seeks to protect us and keep us out of harm. So it's very controlling, but it's a positive thing that we have a soul and it's trying to protect us. Now, our mind, if we're focused too much on negative thoughts, one of the things we can do is when you have a negative thought, immediately follow up with a positive thought. So, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. It's Armageddon. Oh no, it's not. This is just a shift in a consciousness. You can say, God has this, He's got a plan. So boom, a negative thought plus a positive thought neutralizes out that negative thought. I can't do this, I can't survive, or I'm not going to make it, I feel so bad. And then with God, all things are possible. That's the positive thought. So again, negative thoughts plus positive thoughts. Like one of my positive thoughts lately is I've always really wanted to try the lifestyle of not in the world, not of the world, but separated from the world, the narrow path. And I do that pretty much, but this is kind of that extreme. So I'm like, well, this is what I've always wanted to try to do. I've wanted to try a lifestyle where I'm not so much in the world, and that thought's working out for me. So our emotions are also going to be very active. The soul, these things all are changing all the time. Our mind's changing, our emotions are changing. So one of the things you can do if you have negative emotions is take that negative emotion and just wrap it in compassion. Just have compassion for yourself, because people are suffering and we're suffering, and we have days where we're suffering even more. So the practice of self-compassion is one of the most amazing tools you will ever be able to, if you get this down, you'll use it all the time. And it's just such a way to bring you into a certain level of peace about every situation. So have compassion for yourself and try daily to find things to be grateful for. It's little things, but the energy, all of our feelings and emotions have a certain energy to it, and gratitude has actually been scientifically proven to make people feel better. So have the attitude of gratitude no matter what. Now, our will is where our desires and our cravings are, and most of us are desiring to escape or numb out of this situation and be somewhere else, fantasize or have wishful thinking, and that's normal. You just say, oh, I see that, yeah, that's just normal. All of this is normal, but try to surrender all of those cravings into restfulness and a state of peace. Now, when you're resting and you're trying to find peace, and you've kind of committed to, I'm going to have a peaceful life, I'm going to have a peaceful day, it's a little bit more boring than escaping and numbing, but it's very renewing to the body. So this whole thing going on is, if we can just be able to be in this restful, peaceful state, it might feel a little bit boring, but it's really what's best for our soul and our bodies in general. So when you find yourself desiring to escape and numb yourself, just try to rest. Okay, so feeding the spirit. So right now, the feeding of the spirit, I think, needs to be trust. We need to trust God. We need to trust that He's got this, and kind of constantly turn back to let go, let God. There are so many things, right? It's crazy, all the stuff out there that we're being bombarded with. So I'm like, let go, let God. Let go, let God. So I have trust in God, and those whose mind are fixed on God will have perfect peace. For those who trust in God. So trusting also brings a level of peace and rest. That's what we're going for. Now, kindness. If you can't give yourself the compassion that you need, seek the kindness from God's Spirit. Now, He's there. His Spirit is one of kindness. Have that. Pray for the kindness. I need more kindness in my life. I'm not being kind to myself. Can you help me with kindness? So we can pray about kindness and ask God for more kindness in our own hearts, and that's where He dwells, it's in our heart, and we'll get more of the kindness. Now, I teach daily spiritual practices. So, of course, one of the ways I'm always encouraging people to feed the Spirit is to sit with Him daily or practice some spiritual practice daily. Letting go, letting God is a spiritual practice. Praying to God for kindness, that's a spiritual practice. Surrendering our soul, like all of this stuff, just back over to God's Spirit and trusting Him, that's a daily spiritual practice. So do try to focus on, I'm having some daily spiritual practices in my life that really connects us to God's power. So do remember to connect to God's power and do your daily practices. And the last thing for August that I'd recommend is reach out for others. Isolation is not good for anyone. It's one of the main causes of depression. So reach out to make a new friend. I have new friends coming over this Thursday. Girlfriends I haven't seen in a long time. I said, come on over. We'll just stay 6 feet apart, and we'll get to know each other again. So reach out. And if you have no one to reach out to, by all means, reach out to me. My email is Tonyah@y'alllight.com, and on my website, if it's not up yet, I'm doing free one-on-one 20-minute consults. Feel free to schedule something with me. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for the month of August. This is to remember to feed your body, your soul, and your spirit, and then you're going to feel more whole and more balanced, more grounded in God, so that you can experience the fullness of everything that He is and can give to us as we become one in Him. Okay, well, go in grace and go with grace.